Let me be real with you right now. Time is not something you manage. It's something you either use or lose. And too many people are losing it day by day, moment by moment, wasting their most valuable asset on things that don't move them 1 inch closer to their purpose. If you're serious about building wealth, impact, legacy, then you've got to stop wasting time on these things. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect time. You're not going to wake up one day and magically feel ready. Success doesn't come to the most prepared. It comes to the ones who start anyway. You think you need more resources, more clarity, a bigger following, a better plan? No. What you need is bold action. Movement creates momentum, and momentum creates mastery. You don't learn how to swim standing on the shore. You've got to jump in and trust that the stroke will show up when you need it. Stop consuming and never executing. You're watching all the videos, reading all the books, attending every webinar, but what are you doing with it? Knowledge is not power. That's a lie. Knowledge is only potential power. Power shows up when you apply what you know. You've got journals full of notes, but no results. Ideas don't make you rich. Implementation does. Stop being a library and start being a leader. Stop arguing with small-minded people. Let them stay in the stands while you play on the field. You're wasting your breath trying to explain your vision to people who've never even dreamed. Their limitations are not your boundaries. Their fears are not your ceiling. If someone's never built anything, they have no business critiquing your blueprint. Don't spend your life debating with people who are committed to staying stuck. Stop trying to please everybody. You're not ice cream. You weren't created to make everybody happy. The truth is, the more you grow, the more resistance you'll face. That's a sign you're on the right path. Playing small to make other people comfortable is disrespectful to the calling on your life. You were not called to be liked. You were called to be impactful. And impact is always inconvenient to someone. Stop doubting yourself. That voice in your head that keeps asking, what if I'm not good enough? Kill it, bury it. You don't have time for it. You don't need another opinion. You need a decision. Every second you spend questioning yourself is a second where someone else is executing your idea with less talent but more confidence. You're not losing because you're unqualified. You're losing because you're hesitating. And stop replaying your past failures. What you focus on expands. If all you rehearse is the pain, the mistake, the embarrassment, you'll never step into the promise. Champions don't dwell on defeat. They study the lesson and rehearse the victory. See yourself winning, feel it, believe it before it happens. That's not delusion, that's vision. Time is not running out, it's already gone. You don't get today back. And the truth is, if you're not using your time to build your purpose, you're helping someone else build theirs. Stop wasting time on things that don't move the needle. Stop wasting time on things that don't multiply your life. You've got what it takes, but it's time to prove it with action. Let's talk about this lie that's holding too many people hostage, the lie that you have to wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect time, the perfect idea, the perfect support, the perfect version of you. Let me tell you something. Perfection is a myth created by procrastination, and if you're still waiting, you're not preparing. You're stalling. You think you'll take the leap when you feel more confident, when you've saved more money, when you've studied more, when your schedule clears up. But let me ask you, how long have you been telling yourself that story? How many years have you let slip through your fingers, waiting for everything to line up just right? That's not wisdom. That's fear wearing a mask. People say timing is everything. That's wrong. Decision is everything. You don't wait on the right moment, you create the right moment by moving. Action unlocks clarity. Action unlocks confidence. You don't become ready and then start. You start and that's how you become ready. Look around at the people who are winning. Most of them didn't have it all together when they began. They didn't have perfect plans or perfect platforms. What they had was the courage to start. They had the guts to look stupid, to fail forward, to make adjustments while in motion. They didn't need a green light from the world. They gave themselves permission to go. If you're waiting For all the lights to turn green before you leave your driveway, you'll never leave your driveway. Success rewards movement, not hesitation. The people who win are not the ones who wait. They're the ones who build while others stall, who move while others make excuses. So stop telling yourself you need more time. The time is now. The door doesn't open when you're ready. The door opens when you knock, when you push, when you demand your next level to show up through your discipline. Stop waiting, start walking, start building, start becoming, because your future is not waiting on perfection. It's waiting on you. We live in the age of information overload. Podcasts in our ears, books on our shelves, videos in our feeds. There's more knowledge available than ever before, and yet most people are stuck. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they're not doing what they know. Endless consumption without action is just dressed up procrastination. It feels productive, but it's a trap. You're watching motivational content every day, taking notes, highlighting pages, nodding your head like you're getting somewhere. But let me ask you something. Where's the fruit? Where are the results? Where is the evidence that all this information is turning into transformation? You don't need another YouTube video. You don't need to buy 5 more courses. You need to move. You need to take what you already know and apply it consistently. Because information is not power, implementation is. Power only shows up when knowledge is activated by action. Think about it. A gym membership doesn't build muscle. Watching cooking shows won't make you a chef. Studying blueprints won't build a house. The bridge between learning and success is execution. If you're not crossing that bridge, you're just stockpiling facts while your future collects dust. But there's a comfort in learning that can become addictive. It lets you feel like you're doing something important without facing the risk of failure. But here's the truth. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. You're not supposed to feel ready. You're supposed to feel stretched. That's how you know you're doing more than learning. You're becoming. Every day you delay action in the name of preparation, someone else with less knowledge but more courage is taking your opportunity. But they're out there building with half the resources you have because they're not waiting for perfect. They're moving with purpose. To stop pretending that you're stuck because you don't know enough, you're stuck because you haven't used what you know. The real test is not what you've learned, it's what you've done with what you've learned. Study less, execute more, and watch how fast your life changes. One of the biggest time wasters and energy drainers is getting caught up arguing with small-minded people. People who don't see what you see. People who think average is acceptable. People who live in limitation and want you to live there with them. You have to understand, not everyone deserves access to your attention, and not everyone is qualified to speak into your vision. When you spend your time debating with people who have no intention of growing, you're not changing their mind. You're just lowering your frequency. You can't plant seeds in concrete and expect a harvest. Some people are so committed to being stuck that your success threatens them. And when people feel threatened, they attack, they mock, they question, they throw shade, not because of what you are doing wrong, but because your growth exposes their stagnation. Listen to me. You don't have time to explain your calling to people who are comfortable living below their potential. You were not called to be understood by everyone. You were called to build, to create, to elevate. And the higher you go, the thinner the air, and the fewer the people who can breathe at your level. You don't argue with critics, you outwork them. You don't waste your words proving your value. You let your results speak. While they're busy talking, you're busy building. While they're laughing, you're learning. While they're doubting, you're dominating. That's how leaders move. All right, let's be clear. Just because someone is close to you doesn't mean they have the right to shape your direction. Some of the most small-minded voices come from people who love you but don't understand you. Love them, but don't follow them. Protect your vision like it's sacred, because it is. And not everyone has earned the right to touch it. Arguing with small-minded people is like wrestling with pigs. You both get dirty, but only one of you likes it. Elevate your conversations, elevate your circle, elevate your standard. Because when you're focused on purpose, you don't have time for petty. Keep your eyes on the mission and let the small minds talk while you build a life too big for them to ignore. Trying to please everyone is a guaranteed path to frustration, burnout, and mediocrity. And the truth is, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, someone will always have a problem with it. Someone will always criticize you, misunderstand you, downplay you, or expect more from you than they give in return. You weren't designed to be everybody's favorite. You were designed to fulfill your assignment. And the two don't always align. When you try to please everyone, you start shrinking yourself to fit into boxes you were never meant to occupy. You silence your voice to keep others comfortable. You lower your standard so you don't intimidate the people around you. But here's the reality. You cannot lead and blend in at the same time. You cannot rise and stay small to make others feel secure. Playing small doesn't serve the world. It only keeps you stuck. People pleasing is a silent killer of purpose, because the more time you spend chasing approval, the less time you spend chasing destiny. Every yes you give to avoid disappointing others becomes a no to the things that actually matter. And if you live for their applause, you'll die by their rejection. You'll exhaust yourself trying to be enough for people who have no idea what it took just for you to stand where you are. Some people will only support you when you stay in the role they're comfortable with. The moment you evolve, they'll call you arrogant. The moment you set boundaries, they'll call you selfish. The moment you move forward, they'll say you've changed. Of course you've changed. Growth demands it. You weren't created to stay the same, and you definitely weren't created to stay stuck, to make someone else feel better about staying small. So stop trying to earn acceptance from people who don't even accept themselves. You don't need their permission. You don't need their validation. You were called, chosen, and equipped before they even had an opinion. The only approval you need is from the one who gave you your assignment. And let me tell you, he didn't give you that gift, that dream, or that fire inside just so you could dilute it for public comfort. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them misunderstand. You weren't called to be liked by the masses. You were called to lead in your lane. Please your purpose. Serve your calling. Be obedient to the mission, not addicted to affirmation, because when it's all said and done, the people you tried so hard to impress won't be the ones who live with the regret. You will. So live bold, live honest, and stop trying to please people who were never meant to guide your path. Doubting yourself constantly is like trying to drive with the emergency brake on. You might move, but you'll burn out before you ever reach your destination. Self-doubt is not harmless. It's not humility, it's sabotage. And every time you second guess your value, your vision, or your voice, you delay the life you were born to live. Let's be real. Most people aren't stuck because of a lack of opportunity or talent. They're stuck because they don't believe they're enough. They look at others and think they have something I don't. But confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through repetition, through courage, through showing up even when you feel uncertain. And the people you admire, they were scared too. The only difference is they moved anyway. You can't be both the visionary and the critic in your life. You've got to choose. If you're always criticizing your own potential, you'll never give it the space to breathe. You'll talk yourself out of ideas before they ever see the light of day. You'll shrink your goals to fit your fear, and you'll confuse overthinking with wisdom when really it's just fear in a lab coat. Self-doubt doesn't protect you. It robs you. It robs you of time, of peace, of momentum. It convinces you to sit on the sidelines while someone with less talent and more audacity takes the opportunity that was meant for you. And if you keep waiting until you feel ready, you'll wait your whole life. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. You decide to trust the gift inside you more than the fear around you. You've survived too much to keep questioning your strength. You've overcome too many storms to act like you're fragile now. Every challenge you faced has shaped you. Every failure has taught you, and every scar is a reminder that you didn't quit. So why would you let a little self-doubt stop you now? You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present. You don't need to know the whole plan, you just need to take the next step. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act in spite of it. So stop waiting to feel worthy, you already are. Stop waiting for approval. You already have everything you need. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the real you, the bold, the decisive you, the version of you who shows up even with shaking hands and says, I belong here, because you do. You just have to believe it enough to act like it. Replaying your failures over and over again is like watching a movie you hate on repeat and expecting a different ending. It doesn't change anything. It just keeps you stuck in a loop of shame, regret, and hesitation. And the more you replay what went wrong, the more you reinforce the belief that it's who you are instead of just something that happened. You've got to understand, failure is not your identity. It's a moment, not a definition. It's a chapter, not the whole story. But if you keep focusing on the losses, you'll blind yourself to the lessons, and worse, you'll start to believe that your past is more powerful than your potential. Every time you rehearse a failure, every time you relive the mistake, the embarrassment, the setback, you're training your mind to expect defeat. You're building a pattern of self-sabotage. And eventually, you'll start hesitating to act, not because the opportunity isn't good, but because your mindset has been programmed to anticipate loss. You have to flip the script. Champions don't dwell on their worst moments. They replay their wins. They rehearse success. They visualize the finish line. Because whatever you consistently focus on becomes your reality. That's not hype. That's neuroscience. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. So if you keep mentally rehearsing your defeats, you're building an identity around failure. But if you rehearse your victories, even the small ones, you start programming your mind for courage, confidence, and forward motion. This is not about ignoring what went wrong. It's about refusing to live there. Learn from it. Extract the wisdom, then let it go. You don't need to carry the weight of who you were to become who you're meant to be. What you should be playing on repeat in your mind is the version of you that overcomes, the version of you that wins, the version of you that walks in purpose with boldness, clarity, and focus. Stop feeding the memory of your pain and start feeding the vision of your promise. Stop letting past failures forecast future outcomes. Your history doesn't have the power to cancel your destiny unless you give it permission. You are not what went wrong. You are who you choose to become next. So, rehearse the win, see it, speak it, expect it, and show up for your future like the past never had the final word, because it didn't. You do. So let me leave you with this. Your time is too precious. Your calling too great. And your potential too powerful to keep wasting your life on things that don't serve your future. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Start now with what you have. Stop consuming without applying. Take what you know and move. Stop arguing with people who don't have the capacity to see your vision. Your destiny isn't up for debate. Stop trying to please everyone. You weren't called to fit in. You were called to stand out. Stop doubting yourself.